And that's interesting, the dialogue, because, yeah, I see that in your work, the kind of dialogue between the landscape and what we make of it in our heads.
It's true. The
That's
work,
for me.
my work, I really tried to think about space, and not necessarily physical space like architecture is, but visual space, and how, one color or one shape suddenly lets your mind perceive a depth, a volume, or something like that. So, and I like exploring the different materials. In architecture, you're playing with bricks and glass and steel, and in painting, you're working with oil paint, and now I'm working with a lot of water-based things, caseins and inks and gouache, and each has their own possibilities, just like building materials do. So
That's a
there's
wonderful
definitely
image.
a parallel, though.
Yeah, it is like building. You're building on your canvas.
Exactly.
Well, how are particular media important to you? Like particular, is your materials? What do you think about when you think about materials? Do you just try anything, or do you? It seems like you're pretty, from what I've seen anyway on the web, and I can't pretend I've seen a lot, but you've done a lot. And it seems like you stick pretty well to a certain grouping of materials. But what would you say about
Well,
that?
there's a lot of variation within materials. I mean, for many years I just worked strictly with oil paint, and within that, there's multiple oils that you can use, and each one has a different quality to it. Manufactured oil paint that you buy in stores has qualities. I like hand making a lot of oil paint from pigments, and that does a completely different, acts completely differently in a
Sure.
painting. So
Sure.
even within oil painting, there's so much variety depending on how you want to combine materials and the whole layering process in making an oil painting. So there's a lot of variation within one material. And with the water-based things, I've been exploring water-based paint for the past 3 years or so, and it's really interesting to me to see how they react together. Some paints want to combine, and others want to repel each other, and they're all basically the same, with just one or two materials that are different, ingredients that are different. But it's fascinating to see how they naturally work for each other or against each other.
That's really interesting. I get the picture, if you like, of you working with your materials like almost like a committee around a table, and you're trying to get something out of them. You're working with them to have a dialogue, to have a series of conversations with all these different materials to see what they have to say in the end.
Exactly.
Something like that.
and it's kind of pushing the materials also. I mean,
Sure.
in architecture, we're always trying to develop new ways of working with known materials or developing new materials. So I like pushing the paint in that same way. It's
Yeah.
like, how thin can I make an oil paint that it doesn't even look like oil paint any longer?
Yes.
It's like making the tallest skyscraper. What kind of engineering does that take? You're
Yes.
always pushing the envelope to see what can happen and react to it.
That's
I
wonderful.
like reacting to these different circumstances.
That's just wonderful. It certainly comes across. The paintings, the things I've seen of yours on the web that I really, really like are there's a whole series called Silence, and another under the which you've posted under drawings, another series. I just love that stuff. I could sit there and stare at it for hours. It's amazing. It has a kind of mesmerizing effect, as well as it's precise, but it's free. I don't know how you do that. How do you get it so precise and yet with such a sense of freedom? It's amazing to me.
Well, it takes a while. I mean, there's a lot that happens on these pieces before I say they're finished, and
yes,
it's a give and take. You have this knowledge about how to make a painting. There's a process. But
Yes.
at the same time, I like chance. I like letting things happen that I'm out of control with. So I'm constantly going back and forth between reining in the chance and happenstance, and then bringing an order to it. So it's a very fine balance that I'm trying to find in that. And sometimes these paintings go on for years before they're finished, and sometimes they're done in
Really?
a matter of minutes. It's done. It's right. It feels good. So I'm never quite sure where things are. At the moment, I've pulled out a lot of old work that's just not feeling good any longer. It's not feeling right. So I'm reworking a lot of things now. So we'll
that's
see
interesting.
what happens.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? That's a bit like the cycle.
Ordinarily, when I say something is done, it's kind of done. But now, years go by and I look at things and it's like, well, it doesn't surprise me any longer. I'm not intrigued by it as much. So maybe I thought it was finished and maybe now it's really not finished. It's time for it to move on. So
that's really interesting.
I'm completely comfortable with having things move on now. So.
Way to go. That sounds like the psychological process that some of us go through where we mine our past to find out how we can expand in the present, like what we can get rid of.
It's true. This new series I'm working on, I'm calling it Personal Archaeology.
Way to go.
It's like getting past the surface of old work and trying to dig back into how it got there and finding ways of how to make it proceed and move forward.